video. What you've done is you've put another video in there that said this part, and this part needs some major clarity because it's been edited and fit to make the narrative out like I'm some kind of loony and radical. But what it was is,
your organization and yourself to call for any form of violence or destruction of property.
no, we're calling for love and unity and peace and giving bear hugs. I mean, violence is the last thing on our minds.
Now, you don't have to answer this question, I'm just telling you because you don't have a lawyer, because what I'm about to ask you is subject to privilege, okay? So you don't have to answer it, you're not required. Did you have a lawyer help you prepare the memorandum of understanding?
No.
Okay. No, just two truck drivers. So it's just a document written by two truck drivers. All right, with no legal advice?
No.
All right, and you can agree with me that in that document, of course, it's proposing that the Governor General and the Senate would essentially take over government in consultation with the committee.
Not take over government.
Yeah.
No. They would, because those are the key holders of our laws. Okay? When Trudeau messes up, we're supposed to be able to go to the Governor General and have communication with her or whoever is elected in that position. And when you research into the Helsinki Act, you're going to find it very, very interesting.
Right. And I don't need to, this is just the only question, I just want to make sure you're clear. You understand, of course, the Governor General is appointed by the Prime Minister.
Correct.
Right? And you understand that senators are appointed.
Correct.
So those are non-democratic actors, right?
Yeah.
Right? So can you agree with me that what you were actually asking for was somewhat of an undemocratic solution?
Yeah. Well, democratic, I guess. I mean, if you're asking to come together at a table and communicate, if they don't respond, you have nothing.
Right.
Right? You got nothing.
Right.
And you're going to communicate yourself to the wall because it takes two parties to make an MOU.
Right.
Okay. So
the other thing I want to ask you is this: is that my clients, Freedom Corp, Tim Ehrlich, Tom Marazzo, Chris Barber, etc., none of them supported the memorandum of understanding. They actually asked you to withdraw it, right? It was them who requested it.
I didn't hear them request. They didn't come to me personally and say, James, would you request this? My wife and the Sovereign Clan Mounts, we talked, and out of respect, just to say, hey, it served its purpose.
Okay.
Right, at that point, because the other situations with the Freedom Corps, where I was put Tom in place, and then from there I backed off because I was dealing with all the shit that Pat had been doing and everything else, and I didn't even get a chance to come and talk to the Freedom Corps. I didn't even know who they were.
Okay. And so,
Really, I didn't know who the Freedom Corps was until weeks down the road.
all right. And I take it my friend with the government, he put to you a discussion or a statement that you made about the Prime Minister had been condemned by the international community. Do you remember when he put that to you just moments ago?
Yeah.
Right. Was what you're making reference to, just to remind you, was it the March 2022 incident where the Prime Minister was to speak in European Parliament and a bunch of the members of Parliament walked out and gave speeches against him invoking the Emergencies Act? Is that what you were referring to?
Yeah.
That's
a
there's
good one.
evidence out there. It's pretty easy to find, but yeah,
That was a
that's
good
it.
one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next,
Nice to meet the Freedom Corps for the first time.
I call on the Ottawa Police Service.
Ooh.
Thank you very much. My name is David Michikowski. I'm a lawyer
That was
for
a nice
the
night.
Police Service, Mr. Potter.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
Oh no.
I understand that you participated, you said,
It would have been
in an
better.
earlier convoy to Ottawa. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that was the United We Roll.
Yeah.
That was in 2019.
Correct.
And I believe in that
Aw.
case you ended up staying in Ottawa for several weeks.
2019.
In 2019.
Yeah. No, we came. We were here for 3
And
days.
Magic Johnson's on our
3
team.
days.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
peaceful.
that's funny.
And were you parked on Wellington?
I believe we were there, and then we were out at our car when we came back in. I think it was back and forth.
Is that Magic Johnson? No, it's not.
And you maintained contact with the police while you
I
were
was not an organizer in that first 2018. That was compliments of Glenn Carrick and Haley Whale. I was just I was there with my camera, and I was a participant, and I was invited to be on the convoy because
Oh fuck.
I was just invited. I was a participant, and my wife had told me. She says, "James, this is my first launch of Canada Unity kind of thing." She said, "It's not about you. Point the camera at everybody else and give them their voice and,
Right.
and let their voice be on the platform."
Sorry, I
I wasn't an organizer of 2018 at all. No capacity.
Dude, I promise.
appreciate that. But you were here with a number of other vehicles, correct?
Yeah.
And you had no issues with the police?
No.
No problems?
Not that I was aware. No, I was too busy feeding the homeless in Ottawa.
And so there'd be no reason for the police to suspect this time that the
Keep
convoy you
going, man.
participated in would cause problems because it didn't last time either, correct?
No correlation at all. None. And I wasn't involved
Hunter and Baby are
with any of the dealings with
so
the police,
baby.
for 2019 at all. Just a participant.
I just want to talk about the parking situation. You talked about where you could park in Ottawa. Do you recall that?
Which,
This time.
Okay.
And
Which,
I think you said you
the
had
first,
some maps.
the first bear hug or the second bear hug?
I'm sorry.
The first bear hug or the second?
Get him, Magic Johnson.
This time when you were here in February.
Okay, second bear hug.
Right.
Okay.
And so you said you were given some maps. So if we could just maybe
Nice.
call up that map. It's JBA 400068.
Oh, there's maintenance right now? Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
And so you'll see this.
Must have saw it on Discord.
Just scroll through it for a minute and then I'll come back
Oh,
to
really?
it.
You just
We can play something else.
Sure.
I got another game.
Interaction from the police.
Yeah, I got some more games I can play.
Space for emergent vehicles at all times. No closed trailers.
How long is maintenance?
And, all staging areas must
Oh,
be kept
that
up
kinda
in case of emergency.
Unfortunate.
And this is
Alright.
what you were referring to. And then there's some maps if we scroll down.
Today's maintenance? Nobody told me this.
There's a lot of maps.
Right. So this is what you were talking about, the
Oh, I
information
got
you
Discord.
had, correct?
Logistics and planning and all sorts of stuff.
We'll stream
So
something
if
else.
we could please look at.
That was a big team that put this all together.
Were you coming eastbound on Highway 417
Which time?
at this time?
What the fuck?
I actually came in from the east
Right, so
with Martin and the Eastern Convoy.
okay, so were you traveling eastbound on Highway 417?
I think there's maintenance because of next week.
Eastbound,
Next week's a big update.
westbound.
You were
I'm
coming
in a
on
new dungeon.
I'm from Calgary. I don't know your
Okay,
so off the
Tuesday.
3 and these maps, I got a big team. Okay, and I know that they specialized in doing a lot of logistics and mapping and everything else, and just know that overview. And I made sure
Get the
that
fuck, man.
the safety points were in correlation for all of our captains.
Oh,
And if our
man.
captains had any problems or questions, then we would make a
Right.
change.
and so you weren't able to park on Wellington this correct?
Yeah, all points lead one.
And so you'll see on
Play a
page
couple more
3,
games
the map
before they kick me out.
shows parking
Maintenance, not again.
lane
Okay,
capacity
man.
38
Piss me
tractor
off, man.
trailers. Do you see that on Wellington?
Yeah.
And so
That was our goal all the way along, was take the curbs, leave the center open for everybody, and then we're there lawfully, and we're,
right, but you
Yep.
The
you see
maintenance,
there's a
okay.
limited
We're gonna
amount
stream
of
something else.
parking on Wellington.
if you know
correct?
how long,
Sorry,
if you know how long that.
Chad, we're
walk
gonna
is,
stream something else.
53-foot trailer is. and so
Yeah,
it's
we're gonna stream something else.
half, roughly, you can get about tractors. And
Right,
Let's
so
see.
you agree with
I
me, there's
got,
limited parking, and you knew that on Wellington Street,
I don't got no
correct?
games.
Yeah,
And so if we keep scrolling down, there are then
Okay, we can stream Star Wars. Fuck.
instructions
whatever.
for where vehicles
I'll
are
just
supposed
switch,
to come in, depending on whether they're coming from the west or the east. And there are staging areas for those vehicles,
Title.
correct? Yep. So there's nothing that suggested that there
actually,
was
no, I don't.
unlimited parking on Wellington, correct?
Game for fun. Whatever.
And if
Bungie,
you could
man, fuck
also
off.
look at OPP, speaking of maps and parking, if we could just turn up OPP
Fuck off,
4
Bungie.
zeros 4261.
Dude, like a just chatting stream. Whatever. Actually, I might do Splicky. I'm gonna do Splicky instead.
And so if we
That's the
could
Splicky.
turn please to page
Looks
5.
fun. I don't know what this is, but it looks fun. Looks fun.
You will see on the bottom, well, if you look at Parliament Hill Area 1, you'll see the traffic plan provides that a decision will be made by the incident commander based on the location of the individual convoys
long the
on
servers are
when
gonna
to
be
shut
offline.
down traffic in this key
Right.
area. And then if you scroll down a little further, where it says
Yeah.
stacking area,
Play
you'll see
this
the real
game.
estate roadway on
Okay.
Wellington will be filled on a first come,
Ventus.
first come
Stories.
basis, no spots reserved, and then vehicles are to be staged along Wellington. And so there were specific instructions you understood as to where the convoys were supposed to be parking, correct?
correct.
And then just finally, just to conclude, there is an article in, I believe, Vice magazine about you. Have you seen that one?
You got it?
Well, let
Well, then
me
I'll
just
just reference it if you want to pull it up.
let me just ask you this, sir. The
We're gonna have to
article
go in this
talks
game.
about
Find like
You
these like
having,
little orbs or whatever. Okay.
Facebook postings saying that the 2020 election in the U.S. was rigged.
What's that have to do with this?
I'm
It's
just
the US,
asking you if that's what's posted
Well,
on your,
I believe that it was rigged, but
Right.
what's that got to do with this?
and you've shared
No, I
on
have
that
to go
Facebook
down through
hashtags
here,
for
or no?
QAnon. There.
It's like a little escalator.
And
That's
that
good or no?
9/11 was planned by a shadowy
Oh.
government body. Is that correct?
If you've seen it, there again, you're trying to make me recall stuff.
But they're
That I
here.
don't have to recall, but I'm going to take your word. Okay, that you've seen it
Oh,
with your
okay,
own
I
eyes,
see.
obviously, that you're trying
Like a
to.
little checkpoint area.
What's the point? What does that have to do with us being here to talk about an emergency act that was unlawfully voted by
Lentis.
Trudeau?
Right. And just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just to finish off, I I understand, and I'll pull up this document and maybe you could just confirm it. It's OPP 403562.
You get the gold or punch the gold or?
And if you could please go
I
to
haven't played
page
this game
5.
ever, so I don't know how to play this.
Just gonna ask you about 2
Cold
pages
game.
on it.
Split gate.
Third bullet.
Where's the other
under
one?
opens.
Where's the other one?
Sorry. Yeah. And so it indicates an image of Ottawa police notice to demonstrators has been posted to the Freedom Convoy Facebook group page.
Feels like even small.
And you see that? Yep. Okay. And is that in fact correct? You did see
Where's
that notice
this?
to protesters?
Negative.
You did not see it.
No, this is Freedom
like a
Convoy
portal?
22 and Convoy
No.
for Freedom's the original.
Okay, so you didn't see that.
That's not
Okay.
another portal.
And then if you could
Okay,
please
guess
go to page 7.
Where?
Second paragraph, I believe.
Where's this part?
Yeah, you're
This
actually
doesn't go anywhere.
highlighted in there. And it indicates, police
That's
information
stupid.
indicates James Botter of Canada Unity was more so aligned with King, that's Pat King, his current position as to who he may
Well, where
align
does this go now?
or direct his some odd 40-odd trucks remains a gap. So am I correct that were in fact aligned with
Oh, this is
Mr.
on the
King
bottom.
In what respect?
in terms of your participation in the
So Pat King, I mean, it's no secret. The guy's a social media guy, and that's what we brought Pat King in for, was social media. And he was real good at it. Plus, he also had a background in convoys and logistics and stuff like that. So, I mean, Pat was Pat. But we don't have to agree. That's the beauty of all of this. Is that
Ooh,
we don't
another
have
portal.
individual rights to be here and
Oh.
we came together as a team. We have our differences.
right, and then it talks about you having about 40-odd trucks that you believe were in your control. Is that a reasonable estimate?
No.
Was more or less?
With respect to
Well, the timer's at 4:30. 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
That you would have some influence on whether they would stay
Huh?
or go.
Oh, okay.
I don't have influence over anybody that's exercising their Bill of Rights, nor would I ever want to.
Okay, thanks,
We're all
Rob.
free will to come here on our own.
Thanks very much, Mr.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next is the Ontario Provincial Police, the OPP.
Oh, there's the other one on the bottom. Little disco ball.
You're on mute, or we can't hear you, so.
Is he here in court?
No, he's
Oh, Zoom.
Zoom.
Oh, geez, he's working.
We're high tech.
I was like, how? Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can.
Where's the other ones?
Okay, I guess there might be a bit of a delay which caused that issue. Sir, can you see me and can see me on the screen and hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh,
Right, my name is
Okay.
Chris Diana. I'm counsel to the OPP. I just have a couple of questions that just arose out of some of the evidence that you gave in response to questions from my friend, counsel to the Government of Canada. He brought you to a document where you expressed some concern that a number of firearms have been stolen from the Peterborough area. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I think that you were concerned about the possible existence of firearms, perhaps, in your area there.
Rightfully, yes.
Do you know what happened?
what the hell is this one?
No. That was the last I heard of it, was that report. And then from there, I got distracted and moved off to another, putting out something else.
Okay, so I would put to you, just because I don't think that's information that should be out there without resolution, but I would put to you that those firearms were recovered only a couple of days after they were stolen. Do you know that?
No, I honestly, after that, there was a lot of other things in it.
How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Follow back on
Okay.
it, but I'm glad that,
What do you get, like weapons for these or something?
in any way in distillery, yeah.
I have no idea.
One of those those things when you see something, you get phone crime stoppers.
Sassy, how are you on D2? There's maintenance.
So thanks. I think police are
What?
aware of it, but Commissioner, I think this is an important fact that again, that I don't think should be just kind of out there as a loose end. And although this document was not on the list
What
to
the
be put to the
fuck?
witness, I think it's relevant to this issue, and so I would like to refer to it now on this point, and that's document OPP 401549.
What? Started an hour ago. How the fuck I can't get on?
And if we can make it a bit bigger, thank you. And sir, you will not recognize this document as internal email correspondence within the OPP. If you can go to page 2, please. And under where it says update 10, this is an email from Brad Collins, who's with the OPP to a number of others within the OPP. You'll see it says, Peel Regional Police confirmed the recovery of the stolen load of firearms from Peterborough Police Service
I
jurisdiction.
applied all the
Information
updates. What the
developing
fuck?
that the load of rifles have been recovered, save for possibly a few individual pieces removed from skids. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you, Commissioner. I have no further questions, but I thought that was a factual issue that should be dealt with.
Thank you for clearing this up, that we were able to help assist in catching some bad guys.
What the fuck?
Okay, thank you. Next, counsel for former Chief Slowly.
Tom Curry for the former chief, we have no questions for a lot of them, thank you.
Okay, next is City of Ottawa.
Alyssa Tompkins for the City of Ottawa. This city has no questions for this witness. Thank you.
Next is the Ottawa Residents Coalition.
I'll put budget on that. What the fuck?
Good afternoon, Mr. Bonner. My name is Paul Champ. I'm a lawyer for the Ottawa Coalition of Residents and Businesses. Just have some questions for you. Nice to meet you, Paul. Nice to meet you. The MOU, people could sign that or show support for it online, or
At the present time that we had it going out there, you could sign on, right? And then you would get a digital certificate of authenticity and everything else stating that you actually signed it, like DocuSign.
right? And to your knowledge, did the other some of the convoy organizers, did some of them sign it?
There's no way I could sit here and recall close to 4,000 signatures.
That's fine, no problem. So next, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what the plan was.
Oh, they are down.
Coming to Ottawa, seeing
Yeah,
some of the
there's
videos
server
on
maintenance.
Your Zoom call on January 23rd with Mr. Barber,
Let me
Ms. Helms, and
see.
Mr. King.
10:02 a.m. Testing 2 servers are taken down a few days ago by Manji to prepare for more downtime in studios.
You were gonna
Taking
try
the
to
game
put
offline
a
once
circle
again.
downtown. Was that what
Server
Operation
outage has
Bear
been
Hug
triggered in
was?
order to release patch 9.5.02
Talk with the government.
on all platforms.
Okay,
Yeah, there's server maintenance.
To bring up,
I don't know how long it's gonna be.
document
It's gonna conclude at 11 a.m. PST.
That's the
Okay.
transcript. While
I
he's
guess we're
calling
gonna
that
play
up,
more.
want to ask you another question
Hey,
about
well, I got Marvel Rivals.
some of the protest tactics you were
You guys wanna
thinking
play
about
that?
taking to Ottawa this time.
Yeah,
Was it
play their server
was it
maintenance.
discussed or was it planned to have groups
to
of
play some
people
Marvel
without
Rivals.
masks going to restaurants and shops and stores?
Yeah.
That was part of the plan, to make the point that you're free people who go where you want.
Yeah, because we were here for Bear Hug 1, right? And we've got all the videos of us exercising under the Bill of Rights, our lawful
Time
freedom
11
choice.
PST. That's like
And it just
I know,
proves that
that's
when you follow
2
the
hours.
path of law,
whatever. Who
you'll
cares?
find that these mandates don't have the law to back them up. That's why we went with the
It's a
police.
big update because of Tuesday. That's why.
With the police, and we got it all on video, sure, but they're there all the time.
Oh yeah.
At any
Let's
given
see.
time, if we had committed the broken laws, we would have been arrested right there.
Console
But you
language
know what?
English.
The police
Just
of Ottawa
screen
were really
brightness.
helpful, and they showed us that we can do lawful
Put
events.
mode.
And from there, we told Ottawa that when we were
Music
here,
volume.
we would
So, but the plan was as a form of protest to go into restaurants and shops without masks to show that.
Yeah, we were protesting that.
Tutorials.
And the
Let's put them on.
I know I'm going to regret doing this,
Past
but
lives.
Canadian
Yeah,
Bill of Rights has property rights. What about the
costumes.
property rights of the restaurant or the shop owners? Why couldn't they ask people to not come in
Box
unless
to
they
start.
wear masks?
More
They have
Robles.
those rights.
Let's
Or
go.
was your rights more important than their rights?
Well, let's see here. So
Please enter your nickname. Okay.
you're asking Canadians to violate and participate in an unlawful mandate.
How do you say
So,
super safe?
I don't want to break the law and put myself in a situation where, like these
Hashtag.
mandates are going to be proven that they were unlawful all the way through. And history will write that, not me.
If you could just bring up page 27, and while it's coming up, I'll ask you just another question on that, Mr. Bowder. But wasn't that maybe a little bit of a recipe for conflict at times if a store owner or like a teenage staff asked people to leave who aren't wearing masks and they wouldn't leave? Wasn't that a risk of some conflict there?
I'd say that the risk of conflict was the day that the unlawful mandates were put across Canada and our government
Okay, we'll just
ignored us
carry
from
this.
there on in.
Right, so because the government imposed those unlawful mandates, that gave you
Thank
the
you
people
for
you
saying they were
protest
unlawful.
with.
Thank you.
People are playing Destiny Rise from their iPad.
With could then override
I got this
the rights
on their
of
iPad on their
staff,
computer.
override anybody,
Oh,
or
whatever,
could
who
threaten
cares?
the staff if they said,
Play fucking
"Please,"
Marvel Rivals.
if I could finish, but so
Night of our
so
Rivals.
would ask people to leave. You saw some conflicts in stores and restaurants, didn't you, Mr. Bowder?
Seen conflicts all over this country.
Yeah, but you saw some in Ottawa while there were several thousand people downtown.
Yeah, no, that's what we got. They come along with us and they handle conflicts.
If you can try and, they're eager to answer, I understand, but if you could wait till the question's finished to
Okay,
answer.
sorry.
So if we could just roll to near the bottom of this page.
Yeah, how do you
where it
play
starts
this
Mr.
game?
Patrick King, just up a bit. Mr. Patrick King, you lit the spark here again, but it's not just going to roll into Ottawa and park in the trucks for a couple of days. James, give them an idea. of
Quick
what's going
match. I haven't played this game ever.
Slow down for the translator.
Thank you. James, give them an idea of what's going to partake in Ottawa. when
Shinshu
they're-
Booyah.
Just an idea.
Tokyo
Don't let the cat out of the
2099.
bag just yet,
Ooh.
but let them give them a little bit of an idea. What was the
Shinjuya.
cat in the bag at that point, Mr. Bowder?
What characters can I select?
Do you recall?
What date is this?
Captain America.
I apologize, Mr. Bowder. This is a transcript
Is there-
of your
what's his
Zoom
name?
call with Ms.
Venom,
Belton, Mr.
Superman,
Barber,
Clark
and Mr.
Kent,
King on January
Bruce
23rd,
Banner.
as you're planning.
Spider-Man.
Maybe this will assist your memory. So at the bottom, it says Mr. James Bowder. Okay, well, let's
Iron
see
Man.
here. What is a bear hug detail? Well, we're
Okay,
going
fucking
to
Iron Man.
have some fun doing a bunch of convoys all over Ottawa. Okay, we won't mention where, but we're going to have fun definitely going a whole different pile of convoy activities. We may potentially convoy over to Justin Trudeau's house. Good, says Mr. Barber. Mr. James Bowder, little things like that. We may get stuck on a couple of bridges, things like that. So that was part of the plan, Mr. Bowder, is to maybe block
Superhero.
bridges for a period of time.
Well, if you notice that when we were in Ottawa the first time, we did block with the lawful blockades, right? So, I mean, we are allowed under our Bill of Rights and so on and so forth to do coordinated with the police.
Three,
We would have done any of this with the police.
one.
I can tell you that. So,
But what you did in
That is
2019,
the Hulk.
Mr. Bowder,
Incredible Hulk.
I didn't do 2018. Okay, that was another organizer, so please.
right, so
You don't have to understand, that was already put on record, that I did not have anything to do with
Ooh, Tony Stark,
2018
Iron Man.
organizer.
right, you didn't have anything to do with
I
organizing.
just said you're homeless. That's it.
But you participated in that protest in 2019, and that protest
That's
you
missile.
participated with a number of trucks in a convoy. You came from staging
Oh,
areas
nice.
a few times a day, drove around downtown a few times around the Parliament buildings, and then would go back. And you did that a few days, and that was a successful.
Is that Venom?
No, it wasn't.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
it
So
is.
this time you had to do something more. Is that right?
It's Groot.
Right. That was the plan. You had to do something more. You had to not simply come downtown. You had to stay downtown and create a bear hug around downtown. Is that right?
That's your words.
It's Starky Man.
Well, Operation Bear Hug is your words, but is that what it meant? You something different and bigger this time. Is that right?
Yeah,
And
because obviously
Escort Spider Zero to Buduka.
with this government
Oh,
failed.
that's right.
Where's
So
that?
you needed to
Budokan.
increase the
Budokan.
volume, so to speak.
Correct.
oh.
You had to encircle downtown and apply some pressure, right?
Budokan.
What do you mean by encircle?
We are Groot. Yeah, it is
Encircle, have
Groot.
trucks all around downtown,
Love, hug,
right?
hug
Yeah, so, okay, so, and apply pressure
to what?
to the people that you're hugging. So, all right, Mr. Bowder, just, there's about, I only have a couple more minutes here with you, but I want to ask you about horns. Now, the horns, when they're very
Hey, we got
loud,
an escort
when they're
van
all
here.
going at the same time, I've heard it described as something that's almost biblical. Is that something how you would describe it?
Yeah, I'd say that when it was
Big fan of Iron Man. And Tony Stark.
the trumpets and bringing down the walls of Jericho.
Right, and that's where I was going to go. Joshua, book 6, talks about how you bring down the walls of Jericho with the trumpets, right?
I have honestly never read the Bible, and I just got baptized last year, and I still haven't read the Bible. And I really am a weird duck, and I don't get it, but that's the truth.
Could we,
Where's Spider Man?
Council,
Spider Zero.
don't want to set off things, and I think it's important that it, at a minimum,
At what?
council give.
Oh, to your clips on Streamlabs. No,
What
forget
does
it.
that mean, sir? So did I do something wrong?
No, you did nothing.
I'm sorry.
I'm just having some trouble with the
Council.
with the crowd and council, but that's my problem. Don't worry.
Look up below.
Giving your evidence.
Watch the rocket.
It's okay from your perspective.
I'm nearly finished here, Mr. Bowder. I
Actually,
just
missed
want to
that one.
understand. So you haven't read the Bible, but it sounds like you know the story of Jericho, right?
I've heard of it from
How do I do that?
others. It was fascinating.
I don't know how to get the vehicle moving.
Right, that inspired you a bit for the
Got a big
tactics,
antenna on it.
For the convoy protest in Ottawa, correct?
Oh, that's funny.
Well, you raised it before I did.
So right, if you want to get into this,
No, it's the
oh
missile.
God. So when I got baptized, I was told by God to put this convoy together and come to Ottawa, and that's where I'm at.
I don't want to get into a big discussion about your faith, Mr. Bowder. I respect your faith. I just want to understand to what extent your faith
It's not Harley
inspired
Quinn,
the
that's not Harley
tactics
Quinn.
that you suggested and worked on with others with Ottawa. So it's my understanding with Jericho, the plan was to encircle the city. They walked around the city 6 times, 6
Oh,
days. And that's
nice.
Building, where they walk
Oh,
around
fuck,
the
that's awesome.
Parliament building, because that's where the evil's at.
Actually,
And on
that's Tony
Saturday,
Stark
the
fired,
first day
man.
of the protest, Saturday the 29th, isn't
Oh,
that what the troops
damn.
did? They did a circle around the Parliament buildings. They went across the bridges over to Gatineau and around, right?
The first paragraph.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
no, this one on January of 20.
Well, I don't know. I was out in the east, so I don't know what was happening on that because we had
Yo, is that the Green Goblin?
all over.
No, it's not.
And I was.
The Mysterio?
I was
No.
with the Eastern crew, and we got stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and we had to come in here, and that pissed off
Groot.
people. And,
There he is.
it's just what it is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowder.
Thank you.
Oh no, I'm gonna die.
Next is the
Who's this?
Democracy Fund Citizens for Freedom,
Oh,
JCCF.
Good afternoon,
Ooh,
Mr. Bowder.
she's good.
My name is Rob Kittredge, and I'm
Damn,
counsel
she's
for
good.
the Justice Center for
I
Constitutional
don't know all the
Freedoms.
superheroes, but she's
Like
good.
we are a chatty man and a challenging witness. So I'm going to try to
You're
do
kidding.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm trying to be as open as I can.
I agree that you are being as open as you can, but
Can
I'm
I
going to try
break through that
and
bullseye or no?
persuade you to give me yes or no answers if you can, because what we're trying to, one of the things we're trying to do here, we have a short period of time.
Let's see who else they
And I
have.
am trying to construct an argument that the Emergencies Act was
No.
invoked unlawfully by Trudeau, and your yes or no answers will help me.
Wolverine? Yeah, Wolverine. Fuck yeah, man.
Pardon me?
I can get along with that.
All right, well, let's see how well we do. So, what I'm looking for is a little clarification on a series of questions that my friend Counsel for Canada asked you earlier on today about how you and others in Ottawa inspired other protests across Canada and around the world. You had an
Oh, who's
emotional response to those
shooting at me?
questions, as I think I would would as well if I were in your position. And I just wanted to get a bit of clarification for the record about what inspired meant to you in that context. And again, if you can do yes or no answers, that would be great. Counsel for Canada said that when he said you, he didn't just mean you, he meant, and I quote, the collective you, meaning you and the other people in Ottawa. Was that your understanding when you answered those questions?
No, I thought he was referring to me.
Magneto's my second favorite.
So, Council for, I thought, well, it doesn't matter what I think. Council for Canada suggested what you did, that you inspired other protests across Canada and around the world. You agreed. You remember that series of questions to give another question to. All right. I understood your answers and your emotional response to mean that you were proud that the protest here in Ottawa had been seen by others in Canada and around the world. And that they
pointing to the right.
Decided to protest
Yeah,
themselves.
these guys are pointing to the right. Well, I don't know if it's like a battle royal or 6-man clash battle royal or what. You're about to be removed from the game. Why? Why am I removed? What the heck is that, man?
As do I. So while the Ottawa protesters, yourself included, may have inspired
Magneto, he's the boss.
Ottawa, you didn't organize any of those other protests, did you?
Dr. X, the
People
universe.
elsewhere may have seen what you and others were doing here in Ottawa, but they independently decided to follow that example and raise their voices in protest, didn't they?
Yes.
And just to be, I guess, fair to you, since you've been so fair to me, I have a minute or two left. If I was wondering if there was anything you'd like to tell us about how it felt to inspire people around the world to raise their voice.
Objection to my feelings. Objection. I'm not sure how that's relevant.
What's your costume?
It's okay. It's okay. I still to this day, how I feel.
Can I play as Super Saiyan or no?
I'm broken.
Let me see. Can I play as Black Panther?
People come together and they chose on their own accord.
Change here.
One word, unity.
Confirm.
I will forever be grateful.
Yeah, I can play as Black Panther. Black Panther.
Canada,
Black Panther.
the world,
Yeah.
because we need it.
Isengard. Yes.
I got a lot of feelings too, sorry.
The World Palace.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bowder. Those are my questions.
It's all good.
Thanks for the bear ups.
Mr.
I'm
Commissioner,
not judging.
that's Paul Sharon from the record. I
I'm
apologize
a
for
big
not
son,
taking
good
your
one.
for the purposes of transcripts. I just
I'm
thought
a big.
I didn't ask
Let me
Mr. Bowder
see.
any questions about his
The Human
many
Torch.
hateful comments about Islam, his many hateful and bigoted comments about
Human Torch.
I'm
homosexuals.
not sure how this is relevant.
I agree. I didn't think it was relevant. That's why I asked, but that's why I'm
Confirm
asking why Mr.
Yes.
Bowder is given an opportunity to answer those kinds of questions, which are otherwise irrelevant.
Well, it's, firstly, it was a question within this time period, and he was asked how he felt. I'm not sure what that adds, if that's your point, in terms of the
Okay,
evidence.
so what do I attack exactly?
I was going to give him, as he's unrepresented, an opportunity to
Bruce
say
Banner?
something at the end. So I think all this is done is put in advance. But what exactly is your point? You wanted
The portal to the other dimension.
you want further opportunity to cross-examine. What is it you're after?
Well, Mr. Bowder has asked his many comments about the unity. If that's relevant to the commission, I can ask.
All right, that's
I
good.
would ask him some questions about his views on unity.
Want to do further cross-examination? You stopped at the end. That I was prepared. I didn't cut you off. If you want to come back up, you can go ahead.
How do I jump on this thing? Captain,
Mr.
or
Bowder,
what does it say? Oh, capture Odin's archive.
love and brotherhood
Couldn't see.
for others and your love of unity.
Oh, fuck.
But
Don't
you
kill
agree
me.
with me, you don't feel unity
What's her
towards
name?
all Canadians. It does not
Oh,
include,
Dottie
for
Boom.
example, businesses.
And Dottie Boom.
Isn't that
Oh,
right?
damn. She good.
You you are upset that you feel the government of Canada promotes
Dottie one was good.
ideology.
She's
You
fucking
said that
good.
before, correct?
Was that before I got found God?
Hold on, Chad. I'm gonna get a drink
So
for
you
this.
said that before.
Was that
I need
before I
something
found God? 'Cause
refreshing.
You're asking dates.
I'll be
I
right
don't
back.
agree with what you're saying now today. Right?
I know drink.
Yeah, that's where I'm under oath today. I don't agree with that.
Okay, I thank you, appreciate that. Now, we've seen some documents up there where you refer to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as Justine Trudeau. Why are you referring to him as Justine Trudeau?
Why not?
Are you trying to suggest something that's emasculating or making some kind of comments or suggesting
Be a typo,
that
I don't know. Could be a typo. I don't know.
pardon me?
Could be a typo.
Was it a typo? It's your words, sir.
Well, maybe it's a typo. I don't know.
But are you telling us it's a typo, or were you trying to suggest something because you think it's somehow negative to transgender or so forth?
As an alpha male, trucker, oil patch, farm boy kind of guy, and seeing old little Miss Trudeau there in his boxing shorts with his juice box water bottle sort of things, yeah, we call him Justine.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay, that's in the re-examination.
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Butler. You're free to go.
Am I free to go, or?
Yes, you are. This is you're completed your examination.
Right on. I'm not done. So am I not allowed my 15 minutes, or no?
If you'd like to make a statement, that's fine. You
There's a
can
thing though that I'd really like to bring out, that I lost my video stuff, and it's got to do with, hang on. Where is the video, Jason? Where are you? The speech out in Quebec. The Unities. Which number? Media press release. I don't have it on. Okay, is it in the file or not? Which number? I'd like to leave. I really would like to have that video of this.
I have 4 videos with a JBA prefix. I can give you the titles if that helps you. That I have one that says maskless shopping, one that says James and Trudeau's house, December 21st. One that's MOU served December 21st. And then we already showed JBA 81 during Commission Councils.
We tried to upload a lot of evidence, and we had problems and technical issues and so on and so forth, but it's too bad.
Maybe you could just sum it up for us.
It was when we left Calgary, my wife and I. And for those that want to do their research in Canada and look into the definition and our history and our governance and respect vision of the community. When I was looking at all the governance aspects and all of when the word unity was given to me, and that has forever changed my life, my hurt, my mind. And from there, I did this little research because I was very stricken that in our country, there was nothing really out there for Canada unity. Like you Googled back then, and there was only one reference that I could find as a Western Alberta oil patch farm boy growing up with this, the West hates the East, and the East hates the West. And I started asking myself, well, they're Canadian, aren't they? They're our brothers and sisters. Where does this division come from? So get into our governance, and I find out that by design, we are designed to be divided right in our governance. And that disturbed me deeply. So that's when I made the first prayer. I said, God, what do we do? Like, how am I going to put that into a corrective action? Well, you look look at our history and how close we were to dividing. Quebec. Somebody in Quebec saved this country. And I don't know. I tried to find this one person. Because if you remember in history when Quebec wanted to separate and we had a 51-49 vote. What if somebody hadn't raised their hand and said unity? Because that was the only reference I could find at that time, was somebody had raised their hand in Quebec and said unity, and then there was a Canada unity flag. And that was it. I was like, this can't be. So I went on Google and I registered all of everything Canada unity, all of it. Trademark, all of it, everything.
I'm not sure this.
So
Can I just interrupt you for a minute?
me and my stories, I try to, sorry, sir, I
I'm
different
just-
stories.
It's a little too much of a story. I'm not sure how
But
it
it-
helps us. I understand your
This video would
That's fine. I think your message has been given, and
we seen that this, let's run that.
just please.
What I observed was that unity was missing, and I'm thankful to this day for Quebec for standing up and saving country and putting unity onto that table. It is my humble honor to come from the West and come out to Quebec with my wife and with the olive branch of unity and say, let's stop dividing, let's stop the division, let's come together and thank you, Canada, for that precious moment in history.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to adjourn for the afternoon break for 15 minutes.
The commission is in recess for 15 minutes. La commission est levée pour 15 minutes.
Dr. Troll to Major Troll.
We took our first steps, brave steps, bold steps in 2001, accomplishing the extraordinary. Today, we believe in pediatric organ transplants and many other specializations. Now imagine the possibilities in a space of our own. Help us launch the new Stollery Children's Hospital with no bounds to what we will accomplish next.
I've spoken with this male whose truck has been positioned in Chateau Laurier since the beginning of the protest. And I take it that's new information for you as well?
That is new information for me, yes.
You've testified in this commission that you had to believe everyone who was getting involved was doing so for the right reasons, that they were joining with the best of intentions. And these are at least some examples of people who maybe didn't have the best of intentions, right?
Correct, which is why I continually was online advocating for peace, to remain peaceful, to abide by the law, and to respect our law enforcement.
Right. And in the various press conferences and press releases that you were involved in and that were being put out in the name of the Freedom Convoy, the message was repeatedly being communicated that the convoy was here to stay in Ottawa until the mandates were lifted, right?
Yes.
As long as that took was the messaging.
Yes.
Yeah. And you testified both yesterday and in response to questions from Mr. Chant this morning about the deal that exchange letters that you engaged in with Watson. And as I understand the broad strokes, he sent a letter to your team with the assistance of Mr. Wilson. You sent a letter back, or a letter was sent back in your name, right? Yes, ma'am. And let's pull up that letter. It's HRF 6045. While we're waiting, or
the shop to check on Brock here? It seems like he's been.
Why did the letter go in your name?
Wants the shop to check on Brock here?
I was president of the board of directors at that time.
Okay. And the letter that's written in your name,
members of the committee passed an amendment to remove the explained in my intervention a couple of days ago is to protect sincere expressions of belief by people who are acting in good faith, even when others strongly disagree with them. And yet, the moment that the Liberal Bloc amendment passed, we actually started to see exactly what many of us warned about. My honorable colleague from Niagara West just spoke about unintended consequences, and I'd actually like to provide an example of that. Because on my own social media, in the short time since this amendment passed, a community member who does, I will acknowledge, comment frequently, wrote, "Happily it passed," and I'm quoting, "happily it passed, and people like Charlie Kirk in Canada won't be able to hide hate speech behind religious freedom." Now, every member of this committee knows that the amendment will not enable any such thing. It is not going to touch the kind of speech that this individual was talking about. But what the comment does reveal is something very important to our deliberations here. And it reveals a sentiment that I hope that this committee will find very troubling, because it is an example of just how quickly and in what manner this amendment will be weaponized. In my remarks the last time we sat, I warned that this amendment would be interpreted by members of our community as having significance by those who want to silence people whose views they don't approve of. And this comment, which came in such a short period of time, shows how easily people will assume that the removal of the defense gives them license to silence views that they dislike. It demonstrates how eager some Canadians are in this moment and time of tension and division to believe that the criminal code should be used not only to stop hate, but to stop conversations that they find uncomfortable. This is exactly why this defense existed in the first place. It was never about protecting bad actors, and what it was about was protecting the space for good faith disagreement in a diverse and pluralistic country. It acknowledged that Canadians hold deeply different conviction on questions of faith, ethics, and morality, and this is reflected in some of the case law. Some of these differences that we have around these topics do run directly into each other. That is the reality of pluralism. The good faith religious defense ensured that people could express their beliefs without fear that someone would accuse them of hate simply because they hold a traditional or unpopular view. So removing the defense doesn't stop hate. Hate is already prohibited. Removing the defense, though, does send a very different signal. And it suggests that the state is narrowing the space for sincere disagreement. It invites people to believe that if they find a belief offensive or outdated, it might now be criminal. And it encourages exactly the kind of misinterpretation that I saw within hours of the vote to pass that amendment, where someone confidently declared that this amendment allows us to target each other. So if the Liberals and the Bloc continue to support the removal of the good faith defense from C9 and don't support our amendments to protect freedom of speech and freedom of religion, Canadians will be able to conclude that will conclude that it is the intention of these parties to encourage the kind of misinterpretation that we are already seeing online, and that they support the weaponization of C9 against people of good faith with views that are distasteful to them. Tensions are high in our society.
You and Freedom Court were saying to explain to the protesters that going along with what was being asked, moving those trucks out of the residential core to other areas in Ottawa, was a step necessary to make sure you could continue your protest for the long haul, correct?
Yes, we definitely would have loved to have stayed and continued to protest peacefully.
Thank you, those are my questions.
Thank you. Next is the Ottawa Police Service.
Good morning, Ms. Lee. My name is David Michikoski. I'm a lawyer for the Ottawa Police.
Good morning.
You've been very clear in your evidence that it was your intent to plan a peaceful protest, correct?
Correct.
And that was very important to you as one of the organizers.
Yes.
And you did not plan to disrupt the lives of Ottawa residents or businesses?
No.
And you obviously, consistent with that, obviously didn't plan to break bylaws, honk your horns continuously, defecate on people's lawns, harass people, or block emergency lanes. That wasn't the plan, was it?
I did none of those things.
And it wasn't the plan, was it? As one of the organizers, you wouldn't have been in favor of condoning that kind of activity, would you?
No.
And because it wasn't your plan, and you, in fact, had a code of conduct, you wouldn't have expected the police to turn the convoy away when they came to Ottawa, would you?
No, they were excellent to deal with right from the start.
And if that had happened, and none of the trucks were allowed in, we've heard from OPP witnesses that likely at that point would not have deterred the convoy because some had driven from very far away. Is that fair?
If we would have been told that we couldn't have driven up here, I don't believe that we would have. We would have found alternative places, I guess.
I'm saying that if when you got here on the 28th and the 29th, the city was barricaded and you couldn't go anywhere, the OPP witness indicated that wouldn't have turned the truckers away because they'd come pretty far for this.
I don't know how to even answer that question. I guess if there was barricades in place, how could we act in that?
And no one from the convoy organizers, to your knowledge, was on social media before the convoy encouraging antisocial behavior.
Not to my knowledge.
Right, and you've seen the Lawton book about the Freedom Convoy?
I have, yes.
And in his book, he says that the convoy organizers did not intend to be on residential streets.
Yes.
And you would agree with that?
I would agree with that.
But in fact, that is what happened.
There were some residential streets that had lots of trucks on them, yes, sir.
There were staging areas, but they were too far away from Parliament. And people wanted to be closer, correct?
A lot of them did want to be closer, but there was also trucks that were out there too in those locations, yes.
And you've been very clear in the affidavit you filed in court that there were truckers who came from all over.
Yes, sir.
And you indicated specifically in that affidavit, which is, we don't need to call it up for the record, it's JCF 0012, paragraph 2 and 3, that you did not control the truckers. Those are your words.
Yes, no, we didn't. They're all human beings. I don't control anyone, so I open up a dialogue with them. And
You're agreeing with me?
I didn't control anyone.
I'm sorry?
I did not control anyone.
And you didn't control the truckers?
No.
And Superintendent Drummond attended a meeting he's heard with some of your representatives on the 13th of February. That was after the date of your letter with the mayor. Those were on the 12th, correct?
The meeting, oh yes, sorry, the initial meeting was, I believe, Friday. And so yes, correct.
Okay. And so the agreement with the mayor was reached on the 12th of February.
I believe so.
And then we saw that there was a meeting on the 13th that I believe Mr. Wilson may have attended to the mayor's office. And Superintendent Drummond records in his notes, again, I'll give you the reference, but in the interest of time, I won't call it up, but it's OPS 14455 at page 47. The convoy organizers, the representatives at that meeting, explained that they did not control Rideau Sussex.
I wasn't at that meeting.
But you're aware that that was said by,
yes.
Okay. And that your representatives also said they didn't control Coventry Road.
Yes.
And so and they also said they could not be certain if the truckers there would move.
That's correct, I believe, yeah.
And even for those groups who you did have some control or influence on, because influence, we've heard that truckers are pretty independent-minded people.
Yes, they are.
They can't be made to do what they don't want to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
And in addition to not controlling the truckers, you also did not have control, obviously, of the protesters on the street and whether they could block trucks from moving, for instance.
We didn't have control, but no, but we worked very hard and very diligently with the gentlemen and women that were down there to open up a dialogue and assist them in opening up that intersection.
And in fact, we heard about a previous effort by Mr. Wilson and Ms. Chippia on February 10th at Rideau and Sussex, where police were going to move the barriers so trucks could move, but the crowd dynamics got in the way and the crowd stopped the trucks from moving because they didn't trust the police, right?
I was down there also, yes.
You were there as well, and so you saw that and you agreed that that would be dangerous then.
I didn't feel like it was dangerous. There was a large crowd presence there, and I think they were feeling that they had been lied to by the police. There was a lot of mistrust there, and they were down there singing "O Canada" and chanting "Freedom."
And you agreed it would be dangerous to move the trucks in that scenario because the crowd swelled.
There was a lot of people there, yes.
And
I'm applying for jobs now, not yet. I will let you know when. I'm busy now. And the servers are offline. I'm applying for jobs. I don't have no money.
You've heard quite a bit of that evidence. The demonstrators were told to leave.
I have never been told to leave.
So you didn't know that? Okay. You're familiar with the PLTs, correct?
I am now.
I'm going to show you some PLT logs. You understand that the PLTs were a liaison with the protesters.
Excuse me, yes, sir.
And would communicate with them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to call it up. I'm not going to start by taking you directly to it, but I will take you to a particular passage of the document. Is OPS 130-14053. And so while that's being called up, Ms. Leach, those are PLT logs as of February 25th. And I can take you through them in detail and show you, but in order to save some time, I'm going to attempt to summarize what they say on the issue of notice that was given to the truckers and protesters before the public order unit moved in to clear the intersection. And so what I see in those is on February, there were various zones in the city, and I see on February 16th, the PLTs attended SJAM and gave those present the letter, and were told by protesters that the letter wasn't legal because it didn't have a signature. That's sort of similar to what you said. Right?
Sorry,
Excuse me a minute, Campbell.
if my friend could actually take the witness to the part of the document that states that so that we can see it. I don't know if that's what it says or not. I apologize.
I will take her to it where it's necessary. If she doesn't agree, that's fine. I don't wish to use my 15 minutes by going through the document in detail. If she can't agree, I will take her to portions of it.
Sure, let's do that. Take the portions.
PLT say they attended SJAM and they were told by the truckers that it wasn't legal, that notice, and it wasn't significant. Do you know about that?
I wasn't there, sir.
Okay. Do you have any reason to deny that occurred, as noted in the PLT logs?
I have no reason to.
Okay. And I understand from those logs that the next day, on February 17th, they attended again and delivered the message again. And they attended again on the 19th and delivered it again to those who remained. Any reason to deny that occurred?
I was not there, as a matter of fact. By the 19th, I was already in jail.
Okay. And so you weren't on the 17th, were you?
I was arrested that day, yes.
Right. And I'm pretty confident, because you were one of the organizers, that the truckers were communicating with you and telling you what was happening.
From SJAM?
All over the city.
No, not necessarily.
And then in Zone 2, and this is on page 7 of the same document, Mr. Marazzo met the PLT on the 16th, and the message was delivered to him, and then it was delivered on Wellington Street, and the PLTs described hostile and screaming at the police, and the police then had to withdraw due to the hostility. Any reason to disagree with that?
I was not present there, sir.
Any reason to disagree with that?
Sir, with respect, my friend is asking a witness who has no knowledge of something whether or not she disagrees with a document of which she didn't draft, of which was drafted by the police, and then asking if there's any reason to disagree with something she has no knowledge of. That's not a question, sir. That's permissible. This witness, while this was all going on, was in jail without any form of ability to access phones and texts, etc. It's not an appropriate line of question.
The witness can answer if she was aware of it or not. She wasn't. I think it's quite proper cross-examination.
I'm not sure it's very helpful in the sense that I'm not sure what you're getting at. She can neither confirm nor deny because she has no knowledge. To say, has she had any the questions relating to whether she received communications about any of this may have some relevance, and she's answered that. So,
I'll add in my submission, it is highly relevant because the witness said that no notice was given. And I'm going to suggest to you, Ms. Leach, that the PLTs went to every single site and gave notice to everyone. And you're saying you didn't know that. Is that right?
If you say so.
Okay. I'm going to ask that we turn up OPS 12205, page 60. Yeah, just at the top where it says Swiss Hotel. I'm going to just tell you something, and maybe you'll remember this, Ms. Leach. PLT Peace Gym, OPS PLT Meg, the Swiss Hotel, and Bulfers at O'Connor. The message was delivered and explained. All parties were upset, and Leach was crying in regards to how unfair she felt this action was. PLT advised them to depart and message this out to others. All parties were upset when it was explained that people who are helping logistics can also be charged and held accountable. All understood messaging. They do feel that this message will harden participants' resolve as they feel that it is a tactic of dictatorial government. Suggestion was made to have children leave the red zone. Seems pretty clear to me that you were given the message, right?
I was never told I needed to leave.
So the PLTs, that's fabricated.
I remember when they came in and we had the discussion, and I, as it says, became very upset. I believe I said something to the effect of, "I cannot believe that you're about to do this to your own people." We were there protesting peacefully, and the rest of that interaction, I was upset and I was crying, and
You were upset and you were crying because it was over and they told you to leave.
I was upset and I was crying because of what they were proposing to do to Canadian citizens.
And they told you to depart and they told you to message that to others.
I don't recall them telling me to message that to others or that I needed to leave.
I'm sorry, you don't
It was
remember?
suggested.
It seems to me your memory is selective. When I take you to something that implicates you, you have no memory of it.
That's inflammatory, and if my friend wants to take the stand and become a witness and give opinions about credibility, that's fine, but that's not a proper question, sir.
I'll move on. You would agree, you've talked about the fact that you didn't know the truckers or control them, and you didn't police them.
I did not know.
You weren't surveilling them.
No.
You didn't know their past. You didn't have intelligence information about all of them.
I am not an intelligence expert.
Right. And you would agree with me that there may be other individuals or organizations that would have more intelligence information about some of the protesters than you did.
Such as?
Would you agree with that?
Could you ask me a question again, sir?
Yeah. I said you'd agree with me that there may be other individuals or organizations that would have more intelligence information about some of the protesters than you did.
Yes.
And you would agree with me as well that you have no background or formal training in crowd dynamics and what can incite a crowd to take action.
I don't know.
Or how to prevent a crowd from escalating or preventing violence.
No, I don't.
And so just two more areas, if I may just have 2 more minutes, Commissioner. HRF 401510. If I may have that document.